Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about the reservoir of the herpes simplex virus, which, as you know, is actually two viruses, really. The reservoir is pretty similar to the transmission because the herpes simplex virus kind of inhabits your nervous system. It's just there in latent form, and it periodically comes out to haunt you for no apparent good reason, but uh, what goes on is that in order to kind of understand what's going on, you kind of have to understand a little bit about the anatomy of the nervous system. In the nervous system, uh, there's a variety of cells, but some of the cells, ones that we most often know about, are neurons. And neurons are not like the normal cells we consider in other tissues. Neurons have localized parts, one part being the cell body of the neuron and another part being the axon. And the virus will inhabit, or in latent form, it will just remain in the cell body of the neuron, but it won't necessarily be present in the axon of the neuron. And that's significant because there are neurons in the average human body that can be up to a meter long. And it's a single cell that's a meter long. And that's important because the virus can transmit itself through the axon, but it doesn't necessarily inhabit it. It's just localized to the cell body. And the nervous system largely is separated from the rest of the immune system. There are the blood-brain barrier, and also a barrier between the blood and the cerebrospinal fluid. So the places where the neuron cell bodies are located are quite distinct from the rest of the immune system. So the virus has got a pretty good, uh, you know, place to live, really, because it largely goes under the detection of the body's immune defenses, simply because it's not in a place where a lot of the immune cells are at. And so this is one of the reasons why the signs and symptoms of herpes simplex virus come and go. It's because it's present in your body, but it's not really expressing itself all the time. And I mean, most of the time, people associate herpes simplex with a red rash, inflammation in the skin, blisters, and things. But the reason why those symptoms aren't consistent, and really, as was stated before, you can actually have the virus and shed the virus without any detectable symptoms, is because of your neuroanatomy. And so, as we as has been stated, the symptoms of herpes simplex virus largely are that, well, we largely think about them in terms of blisters and skin problems, but in fact, herpes simplex virus 2 can produce flu-like symptoms, and that includes, muscle aches, chills, almost as if you're having influenza, but it is the herpes simplex virus. So there's actually a variety of symptoms that can come uh, in the body, and not just the things associated with, inflammation or mucous membranes. So that's to say.